Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 49 for June 16th, 2021. I'm Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yes, let's see, news things. A couple things, I guess. Kind of important to me and whatnot. In my little sphere, I guess.
Sphere of interest.
Yeah. For one, way back, we actually tweeted this out, but Kashimashi, where that thing we talked about many episodes ago, and actually I think we talked about it back in November last year, somewhere in there. That's now actually available on Retro Crush. It wasn't available back when we talked about it. It was just kind of like, I have it on DVD, and that's pretty much the only legal way to get it.
Yep. Now,
Retro Crush has it in both subs and dubs. They just got it, like, I'm guessing at the beginning of the month because, well...
Yep.
It's June.
It's June. It's Pride.
So they got it. So subs and dubs are there. It's now available to watch, and actually already updated the old episode listing to reflect that.
Yep.
So there's that. Another thing, I guess, is kind of a sad one, which is this VTuber thing, which is, I guess, tangentially anime. Close
anime
enough.
Tangent, yeah.
Kiryu Coco has announced she's graduating as of July 1st. That will be her last stream before he's gone.
Anime adjacent. That's what I was looking for.
That's unfortunate. She will not say the reasons, but yeah, she's gonna stop streaming. At least she's gonna stop streaming as Kiryu Coco.
Yes.
People have already know her other account.
Yeah.
It's not hard to find. It never was.
It was.
It was still active when she was being Kiryu Coco. But out of respect for I guess the kayfabe, I won't say what it is here.
Yep. Yeah.
And one other thing, also kind of anime adjacent, Doki Doki Literature Club Doki Doki Literature Club Plus has been announced, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, a lot of adjacents.
Yeah, of course. Well, still. Yeah, the Doki. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Doki Doki Literature Club, so I was quite pleased when that was announced. I ordered the Switch version.
Yeah, it's interesting how they handle some of the mechanics for the Switch.
Yeah, the console ports. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't access the file system in a console, so they created a fake one.
Mm-hmm. A fake OS and everything, because it looks like possibly the PC version is going to be the same way now, just for consistency. But I'm just excited because it's a remaster of the original game plus a bunch of side stories and whatnot, so I'm very excited. Because it actually comes out later this month.
Yeah.
And apparently the physical version, unfortunately, it's going to be a bit of a delay, so I might have to wind up buying it digital on Steam just so I can play it as quick as possible.
You can buy it multiple times.
Pretty much what's going to happen, because I got the Switch version because there's no physical PC version for reasons. I have no idea what that's about, but sure. You'd think they'd have them. Nope. But whatever. So that's some stuff that popped up recently. But yeah, we're here to talk about other things that are actually anime. Particularly Strawberry Panic. That is an older anime. Now it came out in April to September in 2006. Yeah, it's pretty old now. About 15 years old.
God. Still don't want to think about how long ago that was.
Yeah. So this is more or less, it's about a group of teenage girls attending middle school / high school. Particularly, it's an all-girls school. It's a Catholic all-girls school in Japan. It's actually technically 3 all-girls schools in Japan. All kind of mushed together for reasons because shut up.
Yeah.
Basically.
They sort of share the same grounds.
Yeah, same grounds, same dorms.
Yeah. But
3 separate schools because reasons. What these reasons are, I'm not sure.
Yep, they don't say.
But anyway, that's basically the romantic lives of these group of girls at this Catholic school because, there's no boys, so guess where all that romance goes. Yeah, so the thing is, those three schools are Miator, Spica, and, well, depending on which source you look at, Lulim or Larim.
Yep.
Or Lelim. Yes.
Yeah, that one gets multiple names. They're French names, and the translations get kind of weird.
Yeah, because, it's going to be a little weird because you're taking Japanese, they're translating the French words to their language, and then these English translators are translating that translation to English, and you can get real game of telephone going with that.
Yep.
You get a little iffy sometimes, and sometimes yes, mistakes are made when translations are done.
Yep.
The main characters, specifically, there's a lot of characters.
There
in this
are
one.
a lot of characters,
but there's I guess 4 to 6 ish, depending on what your definition is of particular characters.
I mean, if you want to get super particular, you can bring it down to
2 or 3.
2.
Yeah, you can bring it down to 2 or 3 if you want to get really specific. But yeah, there's the main characters, Nagisa Aoi. You. Because yeah, she's brand new to school, 4th year, because it's a combined middle school, high school, so she's a 4th year, which means she's in 10th grade.
Yeah.
And then yeah, she shows up to school and runs into, pretty much almost literally, Shizuma Hanazono. Yeah. Shizuma. Yeah, an older. In fact, she's a 6th year. And she's the étoile.
Yep.
They tend to say étoile.
Yep.
But yeah, it's another French word, just means star.
Yep.
Basically, it's some girl who's like really in charge, sort of. But
she's the effectively she's the arbiter of the combined student council, because all 3 schools have their own student council, but they all have to work together. So they elect the étoile to act as an arbiter or arbitrator, depending on how you want to, which form of the word you want to use, to resolve
conflict.
Yeah, and to effectively be the mascot of all 3 at once.
A shining example of what a girl should be at the school.
Yeah.
At these schools.
The schools.
Yeah, Shizuma's there. They run into each other, and Nagasa's kind of just enchanted by her. Just immediately. Doesn't help Shizuma, just kind of straight kisses her on the forehead. Nagasa gets a roommate, Tamao Suzumi, who she's develops a crush on Nagasa very quickly, obviously. And once again, love triangles. Actually, it's more love triangles. Love dodecahedron, essentially.
Yeah,
this gets complicated quick.
Yeah, the official shipping charts are a mess.
Yeah,
it's like spaghetti.
Mom on a sweater already.
Mom's spaghetti.
Yeah, so those would essentially be the central characters, and you might also also add Miyuki Rokujo, who's the student council president of Miyator.
Yep,
and I guess really close to Shizuma as well.
Very close.
Very close to the point of,
they're in the shipping
history
charts.
there.
Yes.
But beyond that, you got some other Miyator students, Chiyo Tsukidate.
Yes, Tsukidate.
And she's a 1st year, and that means middle schooler. And she also winds up being the maid for Nagasa and Tamao, because that's just how you do things here, I guess.
Yep, that's just one of the things.
And it's a great honor to be a maid for... Yeah, okay, sure, right over.
Sure.
I believe it. Then you got Kaori Sakuragi. And let's see, she's important. We'll get to her in a little bit. She's very important, but she doesn't appear for most of the anime.
Also appearing in this.
There's also the sister Mizui Hamasaka, who she doesn't do much either. She shows up and then she's just kind of gone.
Yeah.
It's she's kind of the reminder that there are adults there, but then for most of the anime, there's not really any adults.
Yeah. She shows up at the very beginning, then kind of disappears, and then shows up again to be the disciplinary, and then is gone. Never to be seen again. Only to be mentioned in general.
There's kind of there's a B plot, because the whole basically most of it is mostly Nagasa and Shizuma getting closer, and their whole thing. But there's also kind of B plot with a B couple of sorts, namely the Hikari Konohana.
Yep. And
she
Amane
gets enchanted by Amane Otori.
Yep.
Yeah. She gets enchanted by her because she's she's the horse girl, essentially.
She is, as they describe, she's the prince of Spica.
Yep.
The knight in shining armor.
Yep.
Although no armor. Yeah. Handsome.
Yeah, so basically those two are the B couple, and they have their whole thing going on there with trials and tribulations, including getting thrown off horses and sexual assault, shall we say.
Yeah.
Also, Yaya Nanto, who also has a thing for Hikari, but of course, they won't do anything until it's a little too late. Yeah.
And their maid housekeeper.
Yeah. Tsubomi Okawaka.
Who's soon.
Yeah. She's the tsundere with pink hair, because, yep. Shion Tomori is another one. She is the
student council president for Spica.
She is. She wants Amane to be the next Etoile.
Yep.
And she will do anything to make that happen. And of course, then her henchmen, they take matters in their own hands, namely Kaname, Kenjo, and Momomi Kiyashiki.
Those two can go jump into a volcano.
Yep. Kaname, in particular, decides to go ahead and assault Hikari.
Yeah.
Yep, just straight up.
Yep.
So that's a thing.
Yep.
Kind of gross.
Not even kind of. That was just... it was one of those, it's very, very, very uncomfortable to see, but I think you're supposed to be uncomfortable.
They're antagonists.
Yeah, yeah. But that would be definitely a content warning if that's something you're sensitive to. Be very cautious, because, Yeah,
so those are the main Spica characters. And then you got Lim or Larim
or whoever.
Yeah, that one. I'm just going to go with Larim.
Larim, because that's what popped up on the subtitles the whole time.
Yeah. You got Chikaru Minamoto, who's the student council president, or part of the student council anyway.
Yeah, they're all presidents.
Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of a weirdo sometimes. She's a little...
I don't want to say immature.
No, immature.
Childish. It's like a weird combination.
Yeah.
But she's not immature.
She's very laid back as well.
Yeah, that's the thing with Larim.
Yep.
Is that they're very laid back.
And you got Kizuna Hayuga, who's apparently klutzy, but also hyperactive. She's a bit... He's constantly hanging around with a Chikaru, and then Rimon Natsumi.
Yep, Rimon
Natsumi. Yeah, she's also hanging around there. She's also very similar to Kizuna, and Kira and Kizuna seem to be a bit of a thing.
Yeah, they even kiss sort of at one point.
Not sort of, they do kiss.
Yeah.
And then you got Kagome Byakudan, she's very quiet and carries a stuffed bear around with her named Percival. And always ask Percival what he wants to do and whatnot.
Yep.
Which is a thing. Yeah. She befriends the other ones at Lyrium, and yep. Yeah, those are the characters that are named and important. There's a lot.
Yes, there is a lot of characters.
A lot of them largely, particularly the Lyrium characters, often don't really do much.
Yeah, that's...
The Lyrium characters are just often mostly there and occasionally help move the plot along, but don't really do much beyond that.
Yeah, Lyrium definitely, basically, throughout this whole anime, acts as support for the competition between Miyator and Spica. The way the characters are and schools, I guess, are characterized are pretty much like that, where Lyrium is pretty much laid back, but Miyator has a long history and tradition, and Spica is basically trying to do the same thing. They have their traditions, and they kind of butt heads on, like, they compete a lot, and they're very very buttoned up and formal. Those two are, where Lyrium really isn't. It's interesting though how they play that. Chikaru definitely acts as like the one who, like I said, she's almost childish in nature, but not immature. She's very laid back, yes, but also like wise, I want to use. She sees things and has certain understanding of what to do. It's hard to describe, but yeah, it's one of those. She's a sporting carry she sees and pushes it where it needs to be, but for the most part, kind of sits in the background. I do like that characterization, though. That is a good character type.
Yeah, Minotaur is very much traditional, as you said, but Spica's the whole idea there. They're let's see, prides itself in advancing the independence of women who play a role in improving society.
Right, so another thing
They're
to
more
probably
forward
mention that
thinking.
this is also a manga.
Yeah, it's based on a manga.
Based on a manga, though there are differences between the two.
Yeah, actually, there are not that many, but
Yeah, there's always some
Always.
slight adjustments, tweaks here and there to make it more suitable for TV.
mm-hmm. Those characters, yeah. Again, like I said, Nagisa and Shizuma are the primary ones and whatnot, and their whole thing is them kind of getting closer. But there's also this plot of there's a new Etoile is needed because Shizuma's graduating soon, and they need a new one. Apparently there's actually two Etoiles, as we find out later.
Yeah, pretty much halfway through. That was a
Yeah.
major shift. Kind of
Two, actually. So why is there only one right now? Well, there's a reason for that. That's the thing.
She's dead.
Yeah, the other one died because she was stricken with a mysterious anime disease.
Yeah. She started out with that, and they knew she wasn't going to last long, but they went with it anyway, and yeah.
Yep.
That was the whole thing, and that gives a whole history for Shizuma, where she's still not quite over it, and
Nagisa is the one who helps her get over it.
Yep, because it reminds her a lot, and that's sort of a bad thing at first, and then isn't, and then
basically kind of singing to you, it's okay to actually be happy and live your life.
Yep.
Oh right, I can, can't I?
Yep.
That's the main thing is with the whole thing is that they're gonna pick a new Etoile and I hate French words sometimes.
So does Nagisa. Don't worry.
Yeah. That's the thing, they have to learn English and French on top of already knowing Japanese.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. There's the romance, love triangles and rectangles and stuff, and then them intersecting with each other and whatnot. Because all that whole thing, and that's the plot of it. Just the romance and the subplot of the new Etoile, and apparently that Nagisa can't be the new Etoile and also be with Shizuma because again of reasons. There's a lot of stuff that seems to happen just because it has to happen that way, and to create drama, not necessarily because there's any real good reason for it to be the way it is.
Yeah, that was a weird one. I don't understand how that ending played the way it did. Like, you can have both.
Yeah.
The only way I can really see is she didn't want to be. The whole thing with Nagisa wanting to be the Etoile is sort of like to get over Shizuma. That was kind of the thing there. You forget her and become yourself kind of a thing, and she didn't want to. But that was kind of her. So when she made the decision, no, I'm not going to get over her. I'm not going to forget her. She dropped the original idea of being a Etoile. And again, yeah.
It's
odd. Like you said, it's one of those because reasons. They don't explain.
It feels really odd, but it feels like artificial drama. The other thing is, I'm going to be honest, I think the anime is too long.
Probably.
I think you probably could have actually got it down to 12 or 13 episodes and it would have been fine. There's a lot of excess on this that really could have been cut. And there's a lot of just... There's a lot of stuff where and often sometimes episodes themselves feel like they're just really slowly paced solely for the purpose of making sure the episode's 22 minutes long.
Yeah, they probably could have compressed a lot of it. There's a lot of unnecessary scenes. I mean, it's fluff. I mean, it's a romance. Of course, there's going to be little bits of fluff here because you want to see the characters.
Some of it's not really fluff so much as just this exists because.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it really could have been cut down because particularly those first few episodes were really, really dragging on. There's first 5 or 6 episodes. This is, I found out as I looked it up. Yep, this is very much a common complaint. Those first 5 or 6 episodes really drag on.
Yep.
It takes a while for it to really kick in.
Yeah, it does get better later on as things start moving and things start happening. You could definitely compress those first few episodes down.
I feel like you cut it down to 13 and then more or less have it better paced overall and cut some of the excess.
Yeah. Although, like, as far as some things that I've seen, the pacing, while it was slow in the beginning, it did It wasn't the worst.
No.
It definitely wasn't.
Because the reason we watched this is because I kept hearing the name pop up. Like every single time people talk about Yuri, I'd hear Strawberry Panic being thrown around. Okay, what's so big the deal about Strawberry Panic? I'm starting to suspect, because I think for a lot of people, the big deal is, one, they watched it when they were younger, so it left an impact.
Nostalgia glasses.
Yeah, so for particularly people our age, they watched it when they were teenagers.
Yep.
And two, it doesn't tippy-toe around the whole idea of, well, them being in lesbian relationships. It's pretty blatant about it.
It is very blatant.
It's not like a lot of so-called Yuri anime where it's just, it's heavily implied, but nothing ever really happens.
Right.
You see that a lot, of course. Or it's just really the Yuri. Sometimes the definition of Yuri has been modified to essentially mean close female friends and nothing more.
Well, I mean, didn't it? What do they call that? What, class S, where the whole is where it came out of. Yuri came out of the whole young girls building their relationships with the expectation that they will leave them, and that was the whole how it started.
Some of what
I heard reading a thing on that. They call it Class S, and that it came out of like the 30s and such, when that started getting really popular, and then Yuri developed out of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Yuri, modern day Yuri, which is just there is barely any sign of anything romantic, if at all, and it just gets still classified as Yuri because, well, see, it's pretty much nothing but girls doing cute things.
Yeah, you're forgetting the relationship part of it.
No, they're not. They intentionally are leaving it out.
Yeah,
but they're calling Yuri anyway because they know they'll get people to watch in the hopes that maybe something will happen.
So borderline queerbaiting.
Yeah, a lot of it is very much queerbaiting. This is not that.
Yeah, this definitely is not.
It starts again. It starts off kind of like you're getting worried. Like, is this going to be another one of those? Nope. Kissing. Oh, they're straight up. Oh, these characters straight up had sex. Just straight up, which is interesting because a lot of those were, these kind of those the whole traditional setup of the whole girl gets in a relationship with another girl, but then they have to break it off so they can actually have a real relationship thing.
Right.
There's a whole thing about remaining pure, which means you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do the sex part.
Then you're not pure anymore.
Exactly. There's a real big obsession with girls remaining pure in Japan.
Yeah. Granted,
there's some degree of it here, but in Japan it's the kind of nasty thing of remain pure, but also be really sexual, but remain pure.
Yeah.
That's not difficult to decipher. Or it's also definitely not misogynistic either.
Oh, it totally is.
No, shut up. It's fine. But anyway, yeah, so this one actually, they're actually in relationship. It's weird how, but I think, it's kind of weird that it's like sometimes there is like no, considering it's a Catholic school, there is like no objection to it whatsoever.
Right.
In fact, it almost feels like the whole étoile thing is you're expected the two étoiles are supposed to be in a relationship with each other.
Yeah.
It's almost expected. So it's really extra weird on that front. Like, I don't really mind per se. It's just kind of odd when you think about it.
Well, this is great, but kind of odd for a Catholic school.
Yeah. But then at the same time, you see that, much like many Catholics, there's this weird overdeveloped sense of guilt.
Yeah, they nailed that one. Oh man, that was a good Catholics. That is such a common running theme in this and many other like it. The whole the self-sacrifice, just constant when you don't need to because guilt and it's all my fault. And it's like, no, it's really not.
You did nothing wrong. And then, funnily enough, the first couple to really be confirmed to actually, be having a full-blown sexual relationship were, well, the assaulters.
Yeah, Kaname and Momami.
Yep, those two were the first ones to be like, yep, they're a thing. A thing.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so there was an episode. Yeah, again, the episode is a couple episodes actually.
Yeah, there was a
Kaname
couple episodes.
tries to rape Akari.
Yep,
Akari, and it's like, and it's like, Mane comes and saves the day, but like, nothing happens beyond that.
It wasn't. Yeah,
an unfortunate
did
thing,
it too.
which is
that was
common, and I've found in some of this in manga and anime, which is it stopped, but then nothing else happens to them.
Yep.
Or the villain does something pretty heinous, and then people just kind of let it go.
Yep.
see Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta.
Yeah.
I've killed millions. Okay, whatever. Want to be best buddies? It's actually kind of a common problem in anime and manga of just villains are just, and here even to a degree, the villain here of Kaname and Momomi are just kind of, what they did is kind of glossed over for them to just kind of be, oh, it's fine now.
Yeah.
You learned your lesson, it's fine. How did they?
They didn't learn their lesson.
I mean, Kaname and Momomi also had a bit of a relationship trouble when it's revealed Kaname has a thing for Amane as well, and
Yep.
Momomi is not happy.
Yep.
And also the other thing, so Nagisa and Shizuma have their thing, and it's like Shizuma's trying to get over Kaori, not really succeeding for a while until Nagisa forces that, and there's the whole story where we find out the whole backstory there, and complete with drama and stormy night and everything, and Nagisa and Shizuma have that, at that point, on that weird, what are we actually to each other?
Yeah.
That point where it's like their relationship is ill-defined and vague, and I mean, they start making out, and then Shizuma, starts initiating, Nagisa is kind of going with it, and then everything just kind of grinds to a halt, and sorry, run.
Yep. I think that was one of the Shizuma had like a flashback basically of Kaori during that.
I think that was,
and
where
that
Shizuma kind of had that weird idea of like, oh, I'm just replacing Kaori with Nagisa and using her, and can't do that. That's bad.
Yep. And she basically
Nagisa, and of course they did that weird thing. Nagisa seemed to be kind of resistant, but also going along with it. That unfortunately also happens a lot in manga and anime.
Yeah.
What many would call kindly call dubious consent.
Dubious consent. Yeah.
This is very
That's
frequent in this sort of thing. That's the thing. Nagisa does actually look a lot like Kaori and whatnot. Very much, so much so. But yeah, the B couple. As we got Kaori Amane, there's also that had drama because, initially this kind of seemed fine. They're just kind of, taking things slow. Very clear to each other that they have very fond of each other.
Yes.
And then Amane gets, thrown off horse. I should go into a car. He goes, yeah, here I come. Oh, God.
Chosen one.
And then bonk.
And then
she
fell
somehow gets selective amnesia, so she can't remember anything about Hikari.
Yep.
Until Hikari is able to get her to remember by singing, and everything's fine. And then, they're like, we got to make up for lost time. And yep.
Yep.
They're making out, and then we come back to, they're okay.
Their clothes are gone.
There's no clothing here. Yep, okay, and then there's the whole thing. There's the whole Etoile election, and then Nagisa is being pushed to do it with Tamao, who's pushing her. Yeah, everyone's pushing her. And Nagisa is kind of hesitant, and Shizuma's got her own thing, but she's freaking out over, but she's trying to keep it hidden. Doesn't want to.
It's drama upon drama upon
and
drama.
Again, a lot of it kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, this whole love triangle. Tamao's in love with Nagisa. Nagasa's got a thing with Shizuma, and she thinks she's in love with her, but Nagasa's still a little hesitant because I guess it's the whole naive thing, naivety thing going, kind of like, I'm not sure if this is love.
What is love?
Also, can girls really love girls like that? I guess possibly a little tash of that. So that Shizuma is still kind of getting over Kaori. Yuki, the president, just kind of has things for Shizuma. Tamao has a thing with Nagisa, and also is very aggressive about it.
Yep.
And until she kind of gracefully bows out when she realizes they ain't gonna work.
Didn't Chio Chio
seems to have a bit of a thing for Nagisa as well.
But
Nagisa kind of picked up herself a bit of a harem.
Yes.
For a little while, because it also seemed like what's her face, the tsundere.
Was it Tsubomi?
Yeah.
Well, Tsubomi had a thing for Hikari,
but also had a bit of at one point she kind of seemed to have a thing for Nagisa until she didn't anymore.
Yeah.
Then she had a thing for Hikari, and then she had a thing for Yaya, because Yaya had a thing for Hikari. Their roommates, and Yaya tried to kiss her once, and
did more than try to kiss.
Kissed her and then started,
Yaya also assaulted.
Assaulted
Hikari.
And then Hikari, of course, started apologizing for it because it's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, Hikari's not pushing me away. So
Right.
can I keep going? Oh, I cannot keep going.
Cannot keep going. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's one of those things, again, the dubious consent thing.
I think Hikari did finally push her away and
Hikari
up on the
finally
floor, and
snapped
that's
him
when
out of
Yaya
it.
realized she screwed up.
She was remorseful versus Kaname was not initially.
Kaname was not. Yeah, Yaya realized pretty quickly that,
Yeah, and things were awkward there, and Yaya had to learn to let go, and Hikari had to be like, listen, I'm not into you like that. And now then towards the end, we got the implication of Yaya and Sabomi, and then I think there might be an implication at the very, very last scene during that credits thing that, I don't know, Possum, Yuki, and Tamo may become a thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
That just feels like pair the spares.
Pair the spares.
I don't know. It's a little ridiculous.
It is. I mean, it's not.
And then you just got Larim, who just seemed to kind of just be one big polycule, and they're all okay. Everything's okay there. They just kind of figured out, just do the polycule and everything's fine.
Yep. Yep. Larim's got it figured out.
They got their all their stuff sorted. Everything's fine there. But other two schools are just big old messes.
Big old gay messes.
Big old gay messes of teenage hormones.
Yep. Repressed, because it is a Catholic school.
Exactly.
Repressed.
And then on top of that, you got the whole election thing happening, and then it was looking like Nagisa and Hamo might have won, except
they bowed out or something. I don't know.
Nagisa was pushed towards going after Shizuma because
literally pushed.
literally pushed into it, and then I guess she's not running anymore because she can't run if she's in a relationship with Shizuma. Why? Because shut up.
Or
again,
something.
It feels like the whole Twilight thing is supposed to be you are together. For again, I don't know. So then, Ikari and Amane got the position, and they're like, I don't think we won. Yeah, I don't care though. I'm so happy. Yeah, you're right.
They never actually announced the winners of the election.
Yes, it did.
They were about to, and that's when Shizuma burst the door open. They never actually said.
Yeah, I know.
And the winners are boom. I love you. Let's go. And
the thing about that scene is it's very much presented as the classic wedding that no one is about to happen, and then the real
speak now or forever hold your peace.
I object.
Yep.
It's very much presented like that. They're basically running away from the altar to go with your true love.
Yep. That is totally how they presented it.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of that. There's also stuff like the uniform designs, like
Each had their own design.
Minotaur were very maid-like.
Yeah, Minotaur's was very maid-like.
Yeah,
Spica
got the white and
very white and prim and proper and formal, and Larim was very laid back, sort of not.
Larim is more at the time was more traditional Japanese school uniform with the Seirefuku.
Yeah, the sort of sailor. It wasn't full blown like sailor uniform that you see in other ones, but very much reminiscent of it. Again, Larim being much more laid back.
That's because it's also the newest school.
Whereas so more modern.
Minotaur is the oldest of the schools.
Yep, that's why they have all their traditions and
tradition. It's a weird one because I'm not sure if it's actually how worth its watching it is, because again, it does drag on for a bit. It's a little weird. There's a lot of plot contrivances.
Yeah,
but I still kind of got dragged into it.
Yeah, I was about to say we started really ripping it apart there, but overall I don't regret watching it. It was actually fairly enjoyable.
It's weird. It's one of those that somehow, despite itself, is able to succeed.
I think the reason is that there is a lot of weird plot contrivances and stuff that just happens for unexplained reasons that don't actually make sense, but this is very much a character-driven show, and I think the characters are interesting. They're unique, and the interactions between them are, I think, fairly well done.
Well, again, it takes a while for them to get to that point.
Yeah, once they get to that point, but I think the characters and their interactions make up for the shortcomings in other places, and the reasons why it does sort of still draw you in later on once you get through the first few.
I'll be honest, it's sometimes messy. A lot of the feels like a lot of the conflict is solely because we need more conflict.
Yeah.
But the characters themselves, I got really invested between Nagisa and Shizuma. I got really invested in that one. Although apparently there's a lot of people out there who feel that this was the anime did it, that the book and the manga did it wrong. It should be Nagisa and Tamao.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, so it's again for a while. I was actually when I was during those first few episodes, I was like, oh god, what have we dragged us into? For this is going to go on for 26 episodes. Oh no.
But it definitely got better.
It got a lot better once you get to about episode 7 or so.
Yeah, and then the sudden shift in about halfway through, the ED even switched up. Oh, that's another thing. The ED is a live action ED.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, and then around episode 14, the ED changed.
Halfway, but it's a halfway mark because that's the seasonal shift.
Yep.
Because that's often that a lot of anime does that where it's the halfway through. If it's a 26 episode anime, it'll just halfway through change.
Yep.
It's OP and ED, which that also changed OP. And also the ED in the second half really used some kind of really bad CG. It's like, this is bad. Like even the 90s CG I've seen was better than this.
There was also the beach episode.
Yeah, of course,
that was
the
a
beach
thing.
episode.
You have to have a beach episode.
The beach episode. Going to the beach.
Going to the beach.
This isn't a beach. This is a bathtub.
God. Don't forget to bring your pizza.
Yeah, so beyond that, like we said, it was based on a manga. There's also a PS2 visual novel.
All right.
Makes sense.
All right.
Romance, yeah, visual novel works. I'm not sure if you're another character or if you play one of the characters in there. You know, it's one of those things. It's possible you're playing one of the existing characters, or they've done this thing where they add a new character and completely change the dynamics, basically make the shipping chart even worse. There's apparently short stories. They were just couple of things that popped up in the magazines way back in the day. And apparently fan written too, or fan driven or something. Interesting. There's an internet radio show.
All right.
Which was hosted by the voice actors for Nagisa. And she voiced 2 people. Of course, the manga, the night novels was a thing. There's audio CDs. Yeah, there's a lot. Should you watch it? If you're really into romance and the Yuri genre in general, yeah, probably. If you haven't already done it. So, again, just know it does start off slow. It takes a while to get its footing, and once it does, it kind of forces a lot of nonsense. But it's one of those, the characters are well done enough that you kind of overlook the nonsense. And there is the whole the rapey stuff, but
yep.
It's not, that stuff isn't very, it's not like it's a frequent thing. It happens a couple of occasions and it is clearly presented as bad.
Yes.
But
they unfortunately don't, for
there's
one
no
of them, they
follow-through.
don't have a...
There's no follow through.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, on one of with they show the
remorse and
she's actually remorseful.
Although it's still weird that Hikari is just apologizing to her for it. It's like,
yeah. Also, Hikari also just has this. She just apologizes for everything.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Don't apologize. I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing. I'm sorry.
That was a whole scene of that.
Yeah, so it's gonna also be a little difficult to keep track of people just because there's a lot of them.
Yep.
So there's a couple things. Is it worth checking out? Yeah, sure. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, go ahead and check it out. But
I don't regret it, but I don't think it's not required.
I think in
viewing.
many ways nowadays, it's other anime that actually just did it better.
Yeah.
And this was the thing. It's like, I would actually, for example, one recent one we actually did last year was A Bloom Into You. Is just overall better romance.
Yeah.
Just better.
Very different setting and
but it's still
story,
romance.
but
it's still a Yuri romance and it's still done better. I think this is just one of those, like, because it was so bold about it, that's why people remember it so well. Yeah. Because it was bold.
It very much was bold.
Yeah, it didn't tiptoe around the whole, oh, they're in love thing. No, they just went, yeah, it's love. It's romantic love. Yeah, I was actually kind of curious and looking at some of how people received it back in 15 years ago. And like, yeah. Let's see. Wasn't brilliant, but consider that it was meant to be trashy. It pulled a few moments of dignity and elegance out of the trash heap. Another nearly plotless cascade where everything seems rushed and it's difficult to keep track of the characters and plot. It's, slow start. Struggles to find any other reason to be compelling. Oh, as they're talking about the first few episodes. Failing to materialize much plot. Existing only to appeal to otaku who can get excited about moe content.
Some of those I would heavily disagree with, but...
Signs of actual plot. A sudden explosion of fan service and noteworthy developments. Serious romantic side finally does pay off with romantic arc that actually engages. And lacking chemistry for Hikari and Amane. Yeah, I actually was kind of getting that feeling like Hikari and Yaya would almost feel... I almost sometimes felt like they worked together better. I can see why on that one.
A bit, yeah.
There's a whole lot with it, other than that one scene, Hikari and Yaya seem to have a lot going on between each other. And it's like, no,
connected, and there wasn't much else.
Versus Hikari and Amane kind of sometimes felt like, oh, we're just...
Yeah.
They didn't do... You think about it, they didn't really do much.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like...
it's a weird one.
It's a weird one. Maybe it's just implied off scene or something.
I think the thing there is like, Amane's supposed to... It feels like Amane's supposed to be the unreachable crush. And Yaya is supposed to be the real answer. And then that didn't happen. Instead, they went, no, the unreachable crush is totally reachable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything really else to say about it, but it's not just repeating myself. Or saying the same thing again.
Yep.
Or go over the same material. See what I'm doing there? Yeah, so probably worth checking out, but also I would not blame you if you checked out after a bit.
Yep.
So that's
it. Overall, I enjoyed it, but not so much that I was saying.
I enjoyed it, but it's not
a
thing that I think it's one of those things that a lot of people who really loved it, or if they went back now, would kind of go, oh, this isn't as good as I remember. I don't know. Actually, that was the other thing. I think Kashimashi, which came out about the same time, actually argues also a better romance overall.
Yeah.
And also, that was much more tightly paced.
Yeah. The other thing you have to consider, like when talking like Kashimashi or Bloom into You, comparing it to this one, is that the story being told is very different. The points being made are different. So
I don't know.
You can compare them being in similar genres, but in some ways you also can't really compare them. I don't know.
How about I do anyway?
How about I do anyway?
So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed our rambling about Catholic lesbians. If you did, you can check out other episodes. We're on newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Labsyn. You can check us out there. There's a bunch of buttons at the top, which will take you to the various destinations, including that one, which is the Libsyn itself. You can subscribe to the RSS feed there, but there's also Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Search for New to Weeaboo in any of those and subscribe and all that stuff as you like. So check those out. And if you want to contact us, you can do so via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. You can send us questions or criticisms or anime recommendations if you like. All that stuff. Did you watch Strawberry Panic? Did we just slaughter a sacred cow or something? Hope not. Yeah, or as it turns out, actually Strawberry Panic isn't as good as you thought it was. I don't know. I've done another thing where it's like go back to something I watched a long time ago and wow, this isn't actually that good, is it?
Nostalgia goggles are a thing.
Sure. But there's that. And you also are on Twitter at newtoweeaboo. You'll see us there posting stuff, including new episodes. And there's also a personal Twitter. So I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alcatraz at 770 and an underscore at the end.
Yep.
So that's it. Tune in next time. We'll be talking about Princess Principal, the Crown Handler, the first movie for Princess Principal.
Yep.
Very excited for that one.
Of 6.
First of 6, because essentially is the next season in movie form.
In movies.
Or possibly next 2 seasons, depending on how you cut that up. But anyway, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
And I'm very excited to watch that because I haven't been holding off for this.
Excite.
Yes. And I guess technically it still fits for June's theme. It's Princess Principal.
Yeah.
It's not as blatant, but it's still there.
Still there.
Shut up.
But it's Princess Principal, so it's really good anyway.
It's also good anyway. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's it. So I hope to see you then. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.
Bye.
Set